Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you are in the world, and welcome to HIT Talks and this hope, inspiration and transformational message. And what I wanted to share with you today is just off the cuff, some messages of wisdom, some messages of hope, some messages of inspiration, and perhaps some messages of transformation. And what I have here is I have a little pot, and in this pot is lots and lots and lots of words of inspiration, of transformation and of hope. And very often I like to just take one or two of these out and do posts of it and actually do trainings for my clients around these words of wisdom. So I decided just to take a couple out and let's just see how we feel. Oh, one has just fallen on the floor, so that means that this needs to be in this recording, and it is only one, so I'm going to sit there. You go. Right. And what does this say? This here, the message that we've actually got like this is childlike. Can you see that? Childlike. So yeah, let's talk about being childlike. Let's talk about being childlike. How often do we actually act like a child as adults? You know, and I follow the Mayan calendar, and it's something that I work with my clients on a one-to-one basis, and I work with the energies. And one of the days is all about playfulness. It's all about literally coming into our inner child and going back to us actually having fun. And it's just one of the energetic days that actually brings us into remembering that, you know, we are all childlike. And I'll sometimes say, right, okay, I want to have videos of you skipping down the street. I want to have videos of you jumping over, you know, not over the cars, but jumping over the barriers and just having a little bit of fun. But when we actually bring fun and we bring this childhood humour into our life, then it actually brings a different energy around to what we're doing. It brings a different energy around to the people that we're attracting. It brings a different energy into our whole aura. And I believe we don't do it enough. We're all too serious, and with everything that's going on in the world, you know, coming out with a childlike, fun type humour and silliness then may feel not appropriate. But maybe this is a message for us to say, okay, what can we do that's a little bit more fun? And what can we do to, you know, to really have some belly laughter, to really, you know, laughter is medicine. Laughter really is medicine. And what can we do to actually be a little bit more childlike, to, you know, to not be so serious? And if we think back as being a child, like, you have no issues, you know, you have no problems. I'm not saying all children are like this. I'm just saying, you know, going back to, you know, as a young child, we just want to be able to go out there and play. We want to play with our toys. We want to play in the sand. We want to play in the mud. We want to play in the water. We don't mind if we're muddy. We don't mind if we're messy. And we just literally have fun. So maybe this is a message of inspiration today, that go out and have a little bit of fun. Let's be a little bit more childlike. And let's see what else we get in the next one. So what does this one say? This one says breakthrough. So what I'm getting here then is, perhaps if we're a little bit more childlike, perhaps the breakthroughs will come through because we're not focusing too much on what the results are. And the breakthrough for me, you know, if I'm looking at this is actually giving us the inspiration for us to transform, for us to break through into what our visions are, into what our goals are, into what our dreams are, into what our destinations are, you know, and break through the barriers. And whether or not there's breaking through those barriers of self-confidence, of lack of belief, of not being worthy, of not wanting to be seen, and perhaps that breaking through, you know, being out there and doing something that's different, breaking through perhaps being in the spiritual world a little bit more, perhaps breaking through being in the business world a little bit more and wanting to earn more money, perhaps breaking through in relationships, perhaps breaking through in just you knowing you. So let's take that breakthrough as a message of transformation, that we're able to transform our lives if we actually break through some of our barriers. And breaking through our barriers, I believe, is really, really helpful when we have people that are actually supporting us, when we have people that are inspiring us, when we have people that are actually giving us hope. And let's have a look at the next one. And the next one is charmed. Okay, so charmed. So what can we say about charmed? When you're actually feeling in a place of charm, okay? So when I think charm, and I just think of magic, and I was saying earlier on one of my other lives, is that magic happens when you have hope. Magic happens when you believe. Magic happens when you have trust. And I put magic and charm together. And charm, I don't look at charm as you're charming the pants off somebody, or you're charming somebody to get what you want. Charm, I believe, it comes from the heart, it comes from the soul. Charm is unconditional love of service. Charm is unconditional giving, really charming somebody into inspiration for them to be able to live their dreams. Giving them charm, giving them the ability to believe in themselves, giving them charm of happiness, giving them charms of smiles, giving them charms of literally just unconditional love. That's what I look at charm as. Let's just see if we've got one more in here. And this is free flowing. And as you can see, this video is very free flowing, so that's a perfect end. So free flowing, how often do we free flow? How often do we do things off the cuff? It's going back to being childlike, just doing things willy-nilly. It's going back to perhaps being just charming because you're being natural. Perhaps then you're able to have a breakthrough because you're not thinking too much. So, this is all kind of interlinking. And like with free flowing, just going with the flow. How often do we try and control? How often do we try and control outcomes? And I speak to my clients about this all the time, about going with the flow. There's ups and downs, there's yin and yang. It's like HIT Talks, that's why we have 4 women, 4 men. It's flowing, it's the duality. It's free flowing through the energies. Free flowing, I believe, is really, really important to our transformation because we're not rigid. Water flows. Water just flows through. It can flow through anything, and it's free flowing. And we want to be free flowing. We don't want to be rigid. We're able to transform if we are able to free flow, in my belief. So there you go. We have childlike. We have being charming. We have having breakthroughs, and we have the ability to free flow, and we also have the ability to give hope. We also have the ability to give inspiration. We also have the ability to transform others, but we also have the ability to transform ourselves if you join the HIT Talk. So I look forward to seeing you at the next episode.